All right, welcome back to the channel. Alert, breaking news. Bud Crawford thinks people are stupid. Let's talk about this nonsense that took place yesterday and the day before, and this just facade this man put on, man, to avoid the question about whether he was going to fight Shawn Porter or not. He talked about Errol Spence, but expect people to forget that what initiated the conversation was people saying that he was ducking Shawn Porter. Let's talk about that and this new found personality of Bud Crawford in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel, subscribers. If you're not subscribed, hit subscribe, hit the join button would be great. Also, much love to everybody on the Patreon. Man, I'm almost completely over my flu. I've got 2 projects to the side that are gonna be up on Patreon very soon. Thank you guys for your patience. And thank you for the new people that have joined. You guys, I've definitely seen the new people join and I appreciate you guys so much. We're gonna get that 2020 is gonna be the year of the Patreon for me. That's my New Year's resolution, to really build that over the course of the year. So I think you guys are really going to get a lot of value out of that. Also, thank you to everybody that comes by the live streams. Definitely make sure you're there for OG Boxing Talk this Sunday morning at 8 a.m. Central Standard Time, where we get together with the OG panels, decades old boxing fans. We talk about the weekend boxing and how it broke down. But make sure you're there. Now, let's get to this, okay? We all know the whole Twitter thing that went back and forth between Errol Spence Jr. and Terrence Crawford, right? Terrence Crawford all of a sudden gets, very verbose, right? Usually he's a guy that'll give you maybe a sentence or two, but all of a sudden he's typing full paragraphs and shit that just doesn't sound like anything that would usually come out of his mouth. While at the same time, he's got a guy who's a funny dude, very funny dude. I don't mean to insult the guy. He's doing his job. Putting out these videos on Terrence Crawford's Instagram, talking about YouTube channels and insulting YouTube channels and making these wild claims like the WBA comes from the Ring magazine. But at the same time, daring to question somebody else's knowledge of boxing history. By the way, folks, the WBA did not come from the Ring magazine. The WBA came from the NBA. Okay, no, and that came after the IBC, whatever the one was that was run by Palermo. Oh, basically the Mafia one got shut down in the mid 1950s. But anyway, that's another talk for another video. I just thought that was funny. Anyway, look, man. When I read through these tweets, I remember it starting with the question of Bud saying he's hearing that he's ducking people. He's hearing people that he's ducking people. And that he doesn't duck, he's not ducking anybody. Dude, people were talking about Shawn Porter. How did this get to Errol Spence? Do you notice that? Did anybody notice that? That it starts with a conversation about people, because people are getting on Bud Crawford about whether or not who he's going to fight. Are you going to fight Shawn Porter? But he doesn't want to fight Shawn Porter. So in defense of him not fighting Shawn Porter, somehow the conversation shifts over to whether or not Errol Spence Jr. is going to fight him. But look, let me break this news to you guys. He already knows Errol Spence Jr. is going to fight him. He already knows it. They already had that conversation. Errol Spence Jr. has been very consistent and very specific about what he's going to do. He said from the beginning he's fighting Shawn Porter. He's fighting Shawn Porter, and then he wants to unify. It was going to either be Keith Thurman or it was going to be Manny Pacquiao. Those are the 2 people that he was going to fight to collect the belts over on the PBC, what he called the PBC side. And after that, he's going to fight Terrence Crawford. Nothing has changed. And Terrence Crawford knows that nothing has changed. This is nothing new to Terrence Crawford. So at the end of this Twitter rant, whatever this thing is, he comes back and he says, at the end, Terrence Crawford says, okay, I'm going to call you. Okay, Terrence, you're going to call Errol Spence. You didn't ask for his phone number, though. You didn't ask for his phone number when you said you're going to call him. So you already had his phone number. So why exactly didn't you just call him to begin with? Am I missing something? Why would you have to, all of the specific details of this aside, right? If you really want to negotiate with somebody, and you have their phone number, why would you go onto Twitter and have big paragraph long things about a conversation on Twitter with him about it? About how you don't duck anybody and da-da-da, and hey man, don't this cussing about this and that. Why wouldn't you just call him to begin with if you already have the phone number, man? Because that's not what it's about. Terrence Crawford, in my opinion, and not even just in my opinion, it's a just already out there fact. You can go listen to the conversations that took place with Errol Spence Jr. on the Ellie Sethback video and Terrence Crawford. They already said that they were going to fight. There's never been a point in time when Errol Spence Jr. said that he's not going to fight him. Never. I know people closely associated with Errol Spence Jr. that said that Errol Spence Jr. and Terrence Crawford are friends. Errol Spence Jr. likes Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford likes Errol Spence Jr. It's not a situation where they don't text and they don't talk with one another. They talk with one another. So what is this whole YouTube charade about? What is all of this smoke and mirrors about? To avoid the question the original question. You know you are not fighting Errol Spence Jr. next, Terrence Crawford. Who are you going to fight next? See, this is one of the reasons, man, why people like to debate on YouTube. And I tell people all the time, man, I'm not going to do it. Because 95% of these Twitter conversations and these YouTube conversations all involve straw man arguments. They all involve personality attacks, deflections, all kind of different stuff people do. What Bud did through this whole conversation that I read amounted to this. Why don't you fight Sean Porter? Why don't you fight Yordenis Ugas? I don't want to fight Yordenis Ugas. I don't want to fight Sean Porter. I don't duck anybody. Errol Spence, why are you ducking me? Errol, hey, Errol. Hey, don't talk about this other side of the street stuff, Errol. Don't talk about managers, Errol. Pull up your panties, Errol. Hold on, man. Hold on, bud. We're not talking about Errol. We're talking about you. And we're talking about who you're going to actually fight next based on what we all know, which is that you're not fighting Errol Spence Jr. next. That is without a doubt what everybody knows. Bob Arum knows it. Bob Arum just 3 weeks ago said he didn't see it happen in the foreseeable future. You know it. Errol Spence Jr. just said what he was doing. I'm fighting Danny Garcia. I want to fight Danny Garcia. Then I want to fight Manny Pacquiao. That's what he said on Fox in an interview with Brian Kenny. Everybody knows this. Since that is the case, what are you going to do, Terrence Crawford? Are you going to fight somebody that is a legitimate challenger for you? And answer the question without bringing up Errol Spence, okay? Because all that is deflecting, changing the subject, making people who are asking you this question start talking about that. So in this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it back. You're not fighting Errol Spence Jr. next, and you know it. That's the thing. It's so amazing to me. You know this. You know this. We know that you know this. Everybody knows this. So why don't you just say you're going to fight somebody else that is a legitimate fighter? Now, I don't have any real issue with what the guy said on his friend said, right? Other than the Ring magazine, the WBA coming from the Ring magazine, that was a doozy. But hey, man, we all make mistakes. Hey, Biggie, I make mistakes all the time. But just don't make that one again. But the only other one was he's just talking about the WBO belt. Look, man, Terrence Crawford, are you going to fight Shawn Porter or not, man? Okay, or no, excuse me, wasn't the WBO belt. He mentioned something about David Benavidez, and even his own, I guess it's his media guy. I'll call him his media guy. Even his own media guy couldn't get out of the fact that Peg Leg Benavidez had been shot in the knee, and he came in with a messed up knee. And he's like, well, hey, hey, he got what he deserved. Hey, he got into the ring. Yeah. Okay, yeah, he got into the ring. Okay, yeah, right. He got into the ring. All right. He got into the ring. That's the best thing you could say about Jose Benavidez. He got in the ring. Look, man, not everybody, people do not have to be a professional fighter with 60 fights. Don't have to be a Hall of Fame trainer. You do not have to be, you don't have to be a high paid commentator to know that Terrence Crawford ain't fought nobody at welterweight. Okay. There's just no way that you're going to get around that. If you look at the competition level of the champions at welterweight, Terrence Crawford is not just lacking. Okay, he's lacking the welterweight resume of many of the contenders. Okay, I can name at least 3 contenders that have fought, 4 contenders who have fought better competition at welterweight than Terrence Crawford has. And he's been a champion for almost 2 years. Or Danny's Ugas has fought better competition at welterweight than Terrence Crawford has. You're Danny's Ugas. Shawn Porter, Danny Garcia, Keith Thurman, Manny Pacquiao, Errol Spence Jr. Come on, man. I mean, come on. I looked at what the Ring Magazine, and I use this just for a reference. Ring Magazine must have decided they were going to keep Egis Klimas in the top 10 ranked welterweights just because. Just because we got to have somebody on there that Terrence Crawford fought, because other than that, dog, he ain't fought nobody. Okay? So look, man, at the end of this, none of this smoke screen crap is going to work. Okay? None of this change the subject to something you already know the answer to. Okay? You already had Errol Spence Jr.'s phone number to call him. So I know you were really just out there grandstanding on Twitter for some reason. And the reason that you were grandstanding out there grandstanding on Twitter was because you wanted to change the subject from who are you going to fight to who you want to fight. Who is it going to be next? Who is it going to be next, bud? That's all I want to know, because we know the Errol Spence Jr. Terrence Crawford fight is going to happen eventually, but it's going to happen after the Manny Pacquiao fight happens, and it would be completely unrealistic and, quite honestly, unfair to Errol Spence Jr. to say that it should happen the other way around, or not. Maybe not unfair. Maybe it would just be hypocritical, because nobody else in boxing is asked to skip a bigger fight to take a smaller one. Okay, and that's what he would be doing if he put Terrence Crawford ahead of Manny Pacquiao. Anyway, you let me know what you think in the comment section, and with that, I'm out. Peace.